Newly released data by the Malaysian Automotive Association or MAA showed that the total number of vehicles sold last year was 655,793, an increase of 4.5% compared with the previous year. And get this! The growth of car sales is higher than our country's population growth of about 1.5% every year. So imagine over 600,000 cars added to existing roads every single year. Are we becoming a nation obsessed with our cars? We asked women's rights activist Josiah.
If they do not get the public transport going properly, then we will cling on to our cars. I think, the Azrul did say that it's an addiction. We are addicted to our cars, but there's a reason for the addiction. I want to let go of my addiction if you provide me with a good public transport system. I do believe that everyone should have a community spirit and should carpool, but it has to be a combination. It has to be a carpool. It has to be good public transport. I do want to take the bus. I want to walk out of my house. There's a bus stop just about half a minute away, but I wait. And I wait, and I wait, and I wait. And meanwhile, I have many appointments that does not wait and wait and wait.
The president of the Public Transportation User Association concurs. He cites the Uber success to support this.
Uber's success, or whatever success that they have today, shows a clear-cut decline of the level of service that the taxi drivers are providing. It's always in the absence. That's how business works. If I have something better, I am going to go for that. Now, there is a risk factor. That's the scary part. Despite the risk factor, passengers are still willing to take it.
Improving the urban public transport is one of the National Key Resource Area, or NKRA, of Pemandu, a unit under the Prime Minister's Department to oversee the implementation of the GTP, or the Government Transformation Programme. Mohamad Azharuddin from Pemandu acknowledges the weakness in our urban public transportation system and shares what is currently being done to increase ridership, especially in Greater Kuala Lumpur, backed by more stringent enforcement. In addition to adding capacity on existing services and refurbishing public transportation facilities such as bus stops and the establishment of the Park and Ride in Sungai Besi, he also tells us more about a pilot project in Klang Valley called the Bus Rapid Transit, or the BRT.
One of the things that I wanted to highlight to you is a system called BRT, Bus Rapid Transit. It's one of the programs initiated in the NKRA, in the government program. And this is through discussions with SPD, who's the lead agency for this, is that we want to build not just a bus system, but a dedicated bus lane that links from Klang right up to Pasar Seni in KL, with dedicated stations along the route, which cannot go through by cars. So there's a lack of bus drivers at this moment in time. So because of that, even though there are buses available, but if they're not enough bus drivers, we can't move. But the other issue is that because people still take cars, so the buses are stuck in traffic jams. So that's why buses, and we know and we accept it, they're not always on time. Our hope is that when we put more buses on the road, that the public will see that there's more availability of buses, then they'll leave their cars again at home and take the bus or even rail. So that will help decongest the roads in KL.
Despite efforts to entice commuters to make the switch to public transport, the majority of us still depend on private vehicles. I decided to spend a morning with the Queen of Traffic, producer and radio announcer Priscilla Patrick to pick her brains on cars, public transportation and of course, traffic.
Malaysia has evolved and grown. Fast forward from whatever, 1950, 1960, 1970 to 2014, correct me if I'm wrong, every household has 3 cars now. That contributes massively to traffic. So to cater to populations, highways need to be built. People are venturing out. Look at Cyberjaya and Putrajaya. It used to be an estate. I used to drive in Cyberjaya, my grandfather, Prang Basa estate. He was the manager. Look at it today. All gone, you know. So like that, Puchong used to be a rubber plantation. Kinrara, look at it now. So when you have people starting to live there, government goes, listen, we need to, build facilities and stuff like highways, and one thing leads to another, a highways generator. Population is still low. But now that you build a highway, you've increased and you've given opportunities to the people living there to start having jobs, working for the highway. And then once that happens, construction people say, hey, there's a highway, let's build a one apartment. You build one apartment, that's it, there's going to be 5 other apartments. In that space of time of 10 years, yeah, the bitching starts. Everyone's like, ugh. But after 10 years, hey, thanks very much lah. From Kinrara straight, I went to Damansara.
Now on my next episode, I speak to a group of unhappy residents who share their concerns over some proposed highways and why they don't agree to it.